It's not only the brand that attracts me, it's the package. It's the people, it's the country, it's the language, it's the food, all of that. And the bike, of course, but that all. First came the bike and the rest just came later. And I don't think you can find it in any other brand.
Good morning, Gazista Viking free riders. Here we are just outside of Yea, northeast of Melbourne, about an hour northeast of Melbourne. And Yea is a great little town, a great place to have the Cathedral of Moto Guzzi. Yay! Here we are early in the morning. The birds are singing. The pastoral hills behind. How do we get here? Well, we've got to come through a couple of state forests. It's a beautiful journey. Subtropical Kinglake State Forest and the Talangi State Forest to get here down this gravelled road to a great destination here at the Cathedral of Moto Guzzi. A very pleasant little vale. It's on the farm of Teo Lamers. Yes, this farm is about the size of some European small countries. But let's have a look here. What a great venture this is. The greatest Moto Guzzi museum, the biggest Moto Guzzi museum in the world. And it's about to open. Let's go and see what beholds us inside this great cathedral. Beautiful gardens surrounding the museum. As we come up to the main door, yes, the centenary of Moto Guzzi. And what a great way to celebrate. Come inside. Good morning. Welcome to Twist Grip Tales here at the Cathedral of Moto Guzzi, and with me this morning is the Cardinal, the head bishop of the Cathedral, Teo Lamers.
Nice meeting you, Bruce.
Thank you for inviting us up here to the Cathedral, and what an amazing place you've crafted here with the friends of the Cathedral. What on earth made you do it?
What on earth? That's a good question. It was always my goal to have a private museum. And in Holland I had a huge collection already, but then we decided to move to Australia, so that dream didn't come through. And once settled down here, we decided to do it anyway. And it started off as this shearing shed, but it turned out to be too small after a few weeks. And then we built the extension. It took us 6 years to accomplish. And it hasn't been finished yet, but it'll happen one day.
I'm sure there's a lot more to come. But it's been quite a journey getting here. So you came to Australia not on the Batavia back in the 1500s.
No, not really.
Because the Dutch discovered Australia.
I know.
And decided not to stay.
I know.
But you've stayed.
It was a hard time. I decided, well, I wanted to go back quite a few times. The first 10 years, I didn't like it at all, because people are quite different over here compared to Europeans. And once I started with the museum and the whole idea of getting back into the motorbikes, that changed my life. And I started liking it again. I met a lot of nice people. Most of them Kiwis, sorry to say, but that's what it is. And they helped me to get the joy back in life.
Well, we provide a lot of employment for New Zealanders across the ditch, so we don't mind them. They're really good workers, and after you get to know them, they are lovely people.
And they are, yeah.
Kia ora to all our New Zealand friends.
Yes.
So you had a shop, like you're known as Mr. Moto Guzzi in the world, which is quite a reputation, and it's understandable with such a collection. But coming to Australia, I believe you got rid of some of your bikes before you came out here, which would have been a painful process to go through.
It was a stupid decision. And because when I started to buy them back, they were all 10 times more expensive than what I sold them for. So it took a bit longer to get them all back, yeah. But I nearly succeeded, so it's good. Still a few missing.
Yes. But, well, I first met you a few years ago when you invited Pino Tadiro out here for the 95th anniversary. And Pino, of course, brought quite a beautiful brace of bikes. The king of the pack was, of course, that fantastic V8 of his. And I thought, there is a man, Teo, who's got a heart for the community to go and bring that sort of technology. Although Moto Guzzis have come out and raced in the ancient history. My father told me stories of the Guzzis coming out. Who was it? Bill Lamers?
Yeah.
Fergus Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
And had a rich racing history. And like the road to your cathedral here being a dirt road, I think one of those guys was taken out to a racetrack and he came back and he said, "Where's the racetrack? I missed it." I said, "No, you've just ridden on the dirt road, that's the racetrack." So it was a bit disconcerting having a factory race bike racing a road race on a dirt road. But we love our dirt roads in Australia.
Not all of you, though. A lot of people object when they hear it's a dirt road they have to take to come up. And they're not coming up because of the dirt road.
It's a lovely dirt road. It's cambered nicely all the way. It's a classic macadam dirt road, which is, you can sit on a lovely 60 kilometres an hour quite easily and the corners take you through. There's no great potholes or anything. It's a beautiful road.
A bit of bitumen would be better.
Maybe one day.
To keep the bikes clean, because every time you take them out, it takes you a week to clean them.
Yeah. So it's great. Now you had a bike shop
Yep.
early on, back in the 80s in Nijmegen.
80s and 90s, yeah, it's still going. Yeah.
That's great. Which is very odd because in the 1978, I lived in a little village just down the road from Nijmegen called Garsel. Hey guys.
Yeah.
Danke wel met de kruiwagen and the kramhoks.
Good on you.
That's about all the Dutch I know. Sorry, it hasn't stuck. It's not easy. So it's a beautiful part of the world over there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And that was a great period for Moto Guzzi too. So I'm just buying my first Moto Guzzi at the moment, a Mark III. It's in Australia.
It's in Australia, ready to be picked up next week.
Fantastic. So the early 80s, the Mark III came out, still selling the Mark II. It was an amazing age of Moto Guzzi back then. And selling a lot. Mark III, I think, was probably the biggest selling Moto Guzzi Le Mans that they made.
I don't know, they sold a lot of the V50 and V35s.
All right.
That was the biggest hit.
Not in Australia.
No, but worldwide,
In
mainly in Italy, of course, yeah.
They were pretty bikes.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with all of these bikes that you've got here, Teo, what is the thing that attracts you to Moto Guzzi? Old and new.
It's not only the brand that attracts me, it's the package, it's the people, it's the country, it's the language, it's the food, all of that, and the bike of course, but that all, first came the bike and the rest just came later. And I don't think you can find it in any other brand.
It's a unique brand of innovation. I think the thing that attracts anyone who scratches the surface of Moto Guzzi, you don't have to look very deeply to find out that Moto Guzzi has been extraordinarily innovative in their technology right from day, well maybe not day one.
Yeah, day one. You can say that.
They had the F head starting off early on. Although the two guys that started Moto Guzzi had passion for racing in their heart, but they had to have an F head to start to get the money to go racing. And then once they started racing, they never looked back.
No.
It was just an amazing technology. The overhead valve when everyone else had side valves and F heads. And then they went very quickly to a 4-valve head. And they even had suspension, rear suspension.
Yep.
And if we look at a couple of bikes here from the 50s, they've got upside down forks. Well before the Japanese or the Italians started with them in the 90s and 2000. So a lot of great innovation. And of course, the innovation of inline fours. The story of the V8 is just extraordinary, from the talking about it to putting it on the dyno in 6 months. Extraordinary. And I think Pino's father was part of that. He was one of the engineers on that.
Yep.
So an amazing story of development and amazing technology, and even the Le Mans, with the Japanese throwing 4-cylinder motorcycles at the world in endurance racing, the Le Mans held its head high and did very, very well. And it's still a much loved bike today. That's why I've bought one.
Can't be the only reason.
Not the only reason. No, the rich history and the people and everything like that. So of all of the bikes that you've got here, tell us, Teo, what's one that really it gets you excited?
That's easy. My first Guzzi, the V7 700. 1967.
A real sports bike.
No, the tour bike. Not the sports bike, that was the V7 Sport, 72. In 67 we're talking about that one in the back with the red tank.
All right.
Yeah.
A friend of mine had one of those, and he used to go fishing and shooting. He used to have his surf fishing rod sticking out the back and the front of his bike, and the shotgun that he went shooting with was in a holster down beside his seat, and that's how you could do it back in the good old days.
Yeah. Those days are over.
The V7 was that the first of the big
the
V-twin?
first V-twin, yeah.
The one that saved Moto Guzzi.
Yeah. Yes.
And sparked your love.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. That's how it started.
And is that the bike you had back then?
Yep.
Wow.
Still is, yeah.
The number one bike.
The number one bike, yeah.
And then where did you go from there? What did you buy after that?
After that, an 850 GT, then a 1000 SP, and then I opened the shop, so I had all the bikes I wanted. That was easy.
So you got to play with other people's bikes as well?
No, not really. All the demos and all the new bikes, yeah.
So, and have you've been back to the factory quite a few times?
Oh, yeah, all the time. Still have all the friends over there, so talk to them at least once a week.
That's a great thing.
Yeah.
So yes. So we're going to go for a tour through the museum.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a great thing. We're going to feature a few of these bikes. So, Teo, for building the museum and having the vision to do that, we thank you. The biggest Moto Guzzi museum in the world.
You reckon?
Today.
Okay.
Today.
Okay.
We'll go with that.
Okay.
That's it. And for doing it in Australia. Certainly the biggest Moto Guzzi museum in the Southern Hemisphere. Yeah, I think we'll go with that one too. So, and it's a great vision, so we thank you. And it's only an hour from Melbourne, so it's very easy to get here. If you're coming on holidays, no matter where you are in the world, come to Australia and visit the Cathedral of Moto Guzzi on Wednesdays in the afternoon by appointment.
Yes.
As any royal museum should be. By royal appointment, the King of Moto Guzzi, Teo Lamers. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.